Thomas.
Hey, Josh.
How's everybody doing?
Great.
Pretty good. I made it on time. Pretty excited about that.
Success.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Not set up very good.
Coffee, the nectar of the gods, right? Now, I usually don't drink coffee, but since we've had our third child here, I've been doing a little bit more of that.
Yeah. Interesting. I haven't been drinking coffee for a couple of years, and I just started drinking like 3 days ago. I ran out of green tea.
Mhm. I usually do mine black though. Sometimes some creamer in there, but just black.
It's funny. I just started drinking coffee again too after a good 6 months off of it.
Interesting.
Kind of like it though, you know.
Wonder what
Mhm.
that-
But congrats on the third child, Josh.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been busier around the house for sure.
Wow.
A lot less sleep right now, but we're kind of finding our rhythm. So we're getting there. Man, have any of you guys been doing anything in the NFT space at all? I know we're crypto dojo. Not sure how much NFT talk there's been.
I'm just a hodler.
Just a hodler? Is that what you said?
That's all I got in my toolkit right now.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's a good way to do it too. I mean, markets aren't too kind right now, but they'll come back.
Testing. Hey guys, sorry. A minute tardy. I brewed a pot of hot water. It was very unsatisfying. I poured myself a cup and I was like, wow, this looks like water. I seem to have brewed water here. So
Welcome. Long time no see. How you been, James?
I've been up and I've been down, I've had my
I
ups
hear.
and downs.
I hear.
Yeah. No, it's been good, man. It's good to see you. Glad you made it. Thanks for doing this today, Josh. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel so tapped out. I mean, gosh, with all the stuff I've been running around doing, I've been trying to loosely follow the goings-ons of the tribe and live streams as I can, but I've not been as live and present as I want to be. So I needed to make sure I got some time on the calendar for us.
Right on. Well, today's a perfect example of you proving that. So thank you very much. I'd say we go ahead and do it. We're recording anyway. Welcome to Tribal DAO. I'll just real quick moderate this, although I'm planning on really just handing over to Josh and just listening. But yeah, welcome to Tribal DAO. Things have been rolling along, not as fast as I'd like. Most of that's my fault. Just seem to have been having a lot of issues just putting more time into this. But thanks to Adam, thanks to people like Josh, thanks to other people like that, we've still been able to keep rolling, and I'm glad we are. One of those ways is that we're discussing the idea of doing something with our treasury right now. And with that discussion, Josh has made a suggestion, an offering, I would even call it. He's offering to help the DAO, and I think it's a fantastic opportunity for us. So I'll just say that. The point of today's meeting is not to decide anything per se. I think it's just to disseminate information. It's a great opportunity to ask questions, all the questions you could think of, all the questions you might think someone else might think of that aren't here. This is a perfect time to be fielding those. I don't think we'll have to go over an hour, but if we need to, then we can. But otherwise, let's do it. Josh, is it okay to just do it like that and let you go? If not, let me know what else you want me to cover first.
No, that's good. Let's roll. I'm kind of just doing it off the cuff myself, but I put a link to the Discord for everyone. I think most of you guys are in there, maybe all of you. But if not, just in case, or anybody coming back to the stream maybe a little bit later, there's a link here in the Discord. So you can get in if you're not. If you're already there and you're not a Sachem holder, it's probably just because I haven't, or one of us hasn't granted you the privileges yet. But essentially, anyone who's given to that tribal DAO treasury should have that Sachem role, which opens up access to kind of like the secret channels within the Discord. Just, basically saying that you're a member of the tribal DAO there. And then in that Sachem area, and actually, let me just share this for you. I'll bounce between a couple things, but this is inside the Discord. So at the top left of my screen here, you see where it says the Dojo Earth DAO. And I got a lot of this nonsense going on here because I'm a freaking crypto degen, I guess. But this is inside the Dojo Earth DAO here, right? So you can go to different spots, but the Sachem area is where I dropped this link and put a little message about some of the things that I'd like to do, kind of a proposal here, where we've had the Ethereum sitting inside the DAO Treasury for the better part of a month, maybe 2 months almost now, which is fine, and even we could just continue to hold it in Ethereum. And my view on Ethereum is very positive over the mid and long term, right? That it's going to go up. I just think there's some other things that we can do that might be more advantageous to all of us as owners of that treasury, right? Because each of us has a stake in the treasury. So put forward this vote to say, maybe we should do something with this. Now, I do a lot of different things within crypto. Some that I think are more out there on the risk pendulum that I'm not suggesting that we do. So from my view, these options that I put forward are all very conservative ways to look at using our treasury. So the first one that I put out, you guys can see here, is that we would just take the Ethereum from the treasury, put it into like a DeFi protocol. So that's decentralized finance. Think of it as, if you had $10,000 and you took it down to the bank and you said, hey, I want to put it into a CD, a certificate of deposit. Your money's guaranteed in that CD that it's not going to go down. It's going to earn you some interest rate. DeFi doesn't have the same types of guarantees that things won't go down because Ethereum can, but they'll give you some interest rate. So we could probably earn like 1.5%. There's some other ones where I could earn us a little bit more, but just being conservative, call it 1.5% on that money. On 10,000, that would give us about $150 per year. Okay, it's a little bit of interest. That would pay for, maybe some things mechanically for us to do. So it does cost money when we want to do the governance website, for example. So having a governance website where we can log in and we can use our tokens, so to speak, and we can use our voting power to actually vote like on chain would be the next iteration of what we're doing. I just put a vote out here in the Discord where you've got to have access to it. And then you can click a button, kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, or X for no, I don't like any of those options to chime in. So I'd say that's what we should do for now, is vote this way. But once we've got a little bit of revenue generating from the treasury, we can just pay for the online governance thing. And that will pay for itself out of the treasury. The second option would be we take the Ethereum, we split it between Ethereum and Bitcoin. Maybe we want to diversify our assets. Those are kind of the two big blue chips, right? And so maybe we want to split the pot. We could stake both of those inside of a DeFi protocol where, and let me take a step back. When we do that, just like when you put your money in the bank and you get a CD, the bank then takes that money and they lend it out. So they earn some interest rate on it, right? That's why they're paying us some kind of interest. So if we gave the bank or the DeFi protocol our Ethereum and our Bitcoin, we could pull it out anytime we want, but they'll give us some interest because they're going to lend it out to other people so we can earn money on top of it as well. So that'd be option 2, very similar to option 1, just diversifying between Bitcoin and Ethereum. My preference is actually keeping it more in Ethereum than Bitcoin, but that's just my 2 cents. And then the third one was where we start to get a little bit further down the pendulum, where we could take some of these assets and instead of holding it just in like the blue chip type crypto, which is your Ethereums and your Bitcoins and stuff of that nature, we could go into another layer deeper. And there's a lot of real growth happening. So this would be, if you wanted to take your Apple stock, Apple's a huge company. They're probably not going anywhere. Blue chip, good, strong company. It's kind of like our Ethereum that we've got right now. And you said, I want to keep most of my money in Apple, but there's some of these other small, growth companies that are up and coming that I think are probably going to do better than Apple in the short run. They might carry a little bit more risk because Apple's a huge company. I mean, they've got, billions of dollars in cash. But let's go with the smaller company as well. And let's take 30% of our money, put it there, because I think that we're going to get a better bang for our buck there. Well, if we did that with option number 3, and we took a little bit of our money and we put it into some of that like small cap or mid cap, whatever you want to kind of call it, we could actually earn a pretty significant rate. We could probably earn between 10 to 30% interest on our money, which is pretty good. And you see here, if we did 10,000 and we split it in that manner, we'd have about $400 per year. And those are rough numbers because these things go up, they go down on a daily basis, right? No guarantees, whatever it is. But that gives us a little bit more yield on our current treasury assets. And then the fourth one is we go one layer deeper. So to give you guys an example, you've got Ethereum, which would be kind of your blue chip safest layer. The next one that plugs into Ethereum is called Harmony, which is another cryptocurrency. It's another blockchain. And it actually is a plugin into something called EVM, which is the Ethereum virtual machine. It just means it's sort of a derivative of Ethereum, I guess is kind of the way to think of it, right? It's like a plugin application into Ethereum. So Ethereum's that top layer. The next layer down would be Harmony. And then for this fourth option, what I'm suggesting is inside of Harmony, there are other plugins where if we go a third layer deeper, we can get some really attractive yield. I've talked about some of these before. One in particular is called DeFi Kingdoms. And that's where I would suggest putting that third layer of money. And it doesn't have to be 30%, right? It could be less than that too, but just to start the conversation as well, if we took 70% of our assets and we kept it in that top layer in Ethereum, we could still earn that 1.5% or so on that money, which would give us, $150 per year, or a little bit less because now we're doing 70% of it. So let's call it $70 or actually more like $85 or $90 per year. And then we took the other 30% and we put it down into that third layer inside of Harmony, inside of DeFi Kingdoms. We can get some very attractive yield, as much as like 300% APR. And if we did that, then we'd be earning $4,605 on our 10,000. And so now we're starting to get some momentum growing a little bit faster inside the treasury assets here. And the timing of this could be very good if you look at the charts for crypto and how things are going. Maybe we're bottomed, or maybe we're very close to it. So the yield that we're earning, regardless of any option we choose here, we're going to be earning tokens or coins, whether it be Ethereum, Bitcoin, Harmony One, or Jewel is the token there for DeFi Kingdoms that we would earn. But when we get those tokens, right now, like a Jewel token is worth $3, let's say. It could easily be worth $10 or $20 in 6 months or 12 months. So not only are we getting a lot of Jewel tokens in this fourth example, because they're paying us 300%, so we're getting a lot more back every single day, but that Jewel token itself could be worth substantially more. So is 4,600 realistic? I don't know. It could be less, it could be more, right? is the only way I could really say that. It's a riskier token. So like anything, if the market continues to go down, Ethereum goes down, Jewel may go down more. So we would be banking on the fact that we think the market is going to come up, and that we think that this protocol in particular is doing pretty well. And what I will say about DeFi Kingdoms is it's small, but it's about a $1.5 billion company, so to speak, in and of its own right. So this is not some fly-by-night operation that's just kicking out shit coins that's doing nothing. They have the largest exchange on the Harmony blockchain, and they're worth over $1.5 billion themselves. So they're pretty stable as far as the riskier assets would go. And they're doing some interesting things even across other blockchains that just happened, but I'm probably getting too far into the weeds on some of this stuff. I really just want to open up conversation, and talk a little bit more about, hey, how to vote, where to vote, and why we should be voting, for now. So I'll maybe pause there, see what questions or conversation, or I could also share my screen and go a little bit deeper into DeFi Kingdoms if you guys want to look at that there too.
So the money would be tied up for the duration. Is that correct? Or could we get it out if we needed to? I mean, what are we planning to do with the money eventually? I mean, do you have any ideas about that?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. And maybe James can answer this better than me, but
Yeah, there's no official, right now there's no official plan for the money except for it's a DAO Treasury. And once you put the money in, it's right now we don't have an easy way for you as the DAO recipient to take your money out. That could be something that we would add soon. We could tokenize our treasury, but right now this is more the founders tokens are putting money in, and it's kind of being locked from the consensus of what we as a DAO group do. That's one part of the question, is what are we doing with the money? The second part, though, which actually isn't related, is if Josh does 1, 2, 3, or 4, at any point in time, Josh can say, I don't want to do that anymore, and he could just pull that stuff out. Now, he could pull it out during a horrible month where like that would be the worst time to pull out, but Josh could still pull it out then. So the only commitment per se really right now is you putting money into the DAO without there being this nice little exit plan, which
that wasn't really what I meant. I think I meant long term, I guess, is what are we trying to build? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah.
Are we just sort of investors in another thing, or are we intending on using it to create something ourselves?
We would like to create a digitized automatonic organization. What we've done now, the digital DAO. It is a unanimous consent-based platform where people can gather outside of government or any other kind of thing and actually interact in some way through some kind of tribal fund. A lot of the things that we do with the DAO kind of quasi go into like things that I help with, like the Dojo Word channel, gathering places, a possible campground, things like that. But right now, nothing is really tangible except for everyone who's kind of just into the idea of us coming together and creating something. That's really as firm as the vision's ever really been established at this point. So,
Thank you.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think on that vein, I view this as we've taken some baby steps with the DAO in particular and tried to go slow and just kind of get people familiar with how to vote on chain, the things like the Discord and the Telegram. And I'm not great at being on Telegram because I'm in Discord more often, because that's where a lot of the crypto stuff is actually kind of happening day to day. So I'd love more people to be engaged there, but frankly, I don't need to be. Like, once we have an on-chain governance voting platform, we could just do all the voting there. And I would have posted this message there, for example, and then people could have just gone on and voted as well. And we did have a few people that, when we were doing it through the Gnosis chain, like Adam, I think you actually put up a mock vote on there too, which was great. So like, we had some people that were using it and starting to learn it as well, but we just didn't want to move too fast and just like do all this stuff when people had committed money, into a treasury, and then they're like, wait, what's happening? So I think the idea is we go slow. Now, I'd like to help us manage to grow it a little bit. where we can grow our assets, and then we can, yeah, maybe get campground or something in the future as well. I think all of that will be kind of an, collective decisions as we're making, these voting decisions on it.
It's like a credit union would probably be the closest sort of like conglomeration for like what we're kind of forming right now, like in a real rough hewn kind of a way. I think would be one way of looking at this right now, as far as like what we'd be doing together. So, and the Gnosis chain is great. We fired that up in January, and Gnosis is a token, but it's a governance token. It's specifically designed for organizations like us, but a lot larger, meaning that it's very scalable. And with Gnosis chain, decisions are allowed to be presented by the group. The group decision can be voted on. It can be polled. And because it's running through an automated system, the voting and the distribution of anything that's involved in that vote is handled automatically by the contract itself, which really starts to showcase the power of what a DAO can do. Is that we'd be creating this kind of system for ourselves that has this sort of notion. Just a crazy example. Let's say that Tim wants to borrow 0.1 Bitcoin. Well, it could be that he could come to the DAO and actually borrow that, assuming that the software, he met all the requirements for that. He was able to create a smart contract that secured the collateral for that. Then that would basically run the cycle of that smart contract for him. And then at the end of the contract, it would expire that automatically too. And then the assets from that would be returned to the pool or distributed in whatever way we saw fit. Say that if there's 33 people that are members of the DAO, then 33 people would be distributed rewards every month from whatever the DAO is, whatever kind of potlatch is distributing to its elders, to its founders. It is not too late to be a founding member, MLES. In January, we began this process. I was pushing people like, hey, you got to be a founder now. You got to be a founder now. And I didn't mean to over push anyone. We just haven't gotten our footing firm enough yet where we can even close the voting, the founders tokens options. So right now, anyone that's going to be giving Ethereum into this DAO wallet is basically a founding member. And the amount that you give to that is indicative to the amount of stake you have in that DAO right now. So everything is still open. We will eventually close that. I think we'll close that once enough of us start burning calories to say, hey, let's close the founders tokens because we're ready for the next phase now to evolve from here.
Probably something we would vote on, I would think, where somebody would just raise a vote one day and say, I think it's time, right? I think, I approach this, and sounds like, a lot of you do the same way, which is let's just kind of let this be an organic or an organism of itself. And the idea will percolate within one of us, and it'll feel like it's time. And that'll be when it's time to close the voting, right?
Yeah.
In the past, we were talking a little bit more about like maybe we do it on a certain, schedule, and we do it over, whatever, 19 weeks or whatever, number we wanted to pick. But I do kind of like the idea of just, well, it'll happen when it needs to happen, right? It doesn't need to be as scripted out. And I've seen lots of different projects, approach it where no, it's much more structured and it happens in this timeline, and it's more corporate and sort of like, yeah, I don't think that's how we're approaching it.
As a good example, if we as the DAO were to suddenly acquire like a Fortune 500 company trained money market manager who was like agreeing to look at our treasury and invest it into one of 4 proposals, that would be instantly like, wait a minute, we're actually doing stuff here. We actually have a yield. We're actually producing a yield. When are we going to close the founders tokens? Because when we created the founders tokens, none of us had this kind of thing in place, right? And so as we add features to what the DAO does, I think that it will become It'll come a day where the founders tokens will close, but then we still will have a path of joining the DAO. It just wouldn't be as a founder. It would be more of like become a member of the DAO, right? So now you're a member, not a founder, which means you certainly have benefits, but you don't have the founder benefits. Those are a little bit different. That's the different tiers of this. So I think we'll be forming spokes around spokes, kind of like the Iroquois Confederacy. 5 different tribes, completely independent. They're just all decided to come together and conglomerate around each other.
I have had a little bit of trouble buying XDAI. Is that has anyone else? Is it quite a fairly
I'd say it's very cumbersome.
convoluted thing to do?
Yeah, I'd say it's very cumbersome and tricky. However, since we started using XDAI, Josh, I don't know if you noticed this, but Coinbase picked up some kind of Gnosis chain thing. They're now creating a link into Gnosis. So for what it's worth, I think we did a really good prediction of saying, let's go with Gnosis chain. We can change it at any time, by the way. There's nothing keeping us there. But I think it's actually going to end up being a really good move. So to answer your question, it's very convoluted and tricky right now to buy XDAI. You have to sort of step here, then step here, then step here. It's part of you being a founder's token too, though. See, once we got established, you could picture that people will become a member and never even have to say the words XDAI or Gnosis chain, that could be possible. But right now, we are more like, yeah, you got to get a footer poured. You got to call the concrete company and you got to have them come out. Then you got to put a rebar. All that stuff you have to do right now. We will help each other do that. But yeah, it is convoluted. It's also the cheapest governance voting system that I've been able to find anywhere on the internet. It's like pennies over what you would normally pay for anything else. It does have some disadvantages, but none of them affect us in a governance capacity. One of the big advantages to Gnosis chain is that the votes are calculated every 20 minutes or so. So it's not like this super fast chain where people are like trading behind a 7-Eleven these meth tokens to each other, for instant access. This is every 20 minutes. This robot runs and goes, somebody want to vote on something? And then it votes. So it's very low fees, transaction fees. There's a lot of really great advantages to that. Right now, you're just seeing the raw motor and its dangers and how hard it is to kind of get it started when you first join in is all. So
I have a question on that. Are we saying that something like Gnosis chain would be the form founders tokens would eventually come in?
So
or would it be something
Probably
else?
not.
Probably not. However, you could look at it that way just to understand it, but probably not. I think the governance tokens will be more about voting. It'll be more just how we elicit decisions with each other, but that those founders tokens will sometimes end up those governance tokens will sometimes end up, though, in you acquiring founders tokens or spending founders tokens for something else, but it'll be the governance tokens themselves that just handle the day-to-day voting of it. Josh, feel free to speak on that.
Yeah, and like to give you an example, and this may not be the exact architecture that we want to decide upon, but a lot of times what you'll have within a DAO is some amount of NFTs. So an NFT is said in the simplest form, basically just a smart contract. And it shows that you've got ownership of something, right? It's like a certification that you own something. That's all an NFT really is. Well, we could create, I don't know how many founders we have at this point. James, do you know, is it 50 founders, somewhere around that range, maybe? Yeah, whatever. So let's say it's 50. Let's say it's 72, just for fun. Let's say we've got 72 founders. Well, we could mint, which means create, 72 founder tokens. They would become these NFTs or non-fungible tokens, and it would show your certification on the blockchain that you own this founder token. It could have beautiful imagery around it. We could even do some things where founder tokens could be mutable, right? Where we could maybe change the founder token, the look and feel of it as well, but you would always still be the owner of that founder token. You could sell your founder token, right? There may not be a market for it. Maybe nobody wants to buy it. Maybe it's not worth anything. But if the DAO grew and people wanted to get access to it and they weren't founders, we could then mint another series of tokens. And these, instead of being founder tokens, could be member tokens. We could call them something different and we could assign a value to them. And we could say, hey, if you want to become a member of this DAO, we have this treasury, here's the things that we do these regular meetings, etc. Well, to become a member, now it's 1 Ethereum or whatever coin we decide that we want to go with. We could say it's 10 Solana, right, which is another coin. We could say it's 20 AVAX, which is an Avalanche coin. Like, we could just pick, it doesn't matter. We could decide where we want to create these new membership tokens, and we can create them in multiple places if we decided that, well, there's community people that exist on the Avalanche chain that want access, or there's a community of people that exist on the Harmony chain, they want access. So we'll be able to make these decisions and find ways that we want to grow our treasury. How do we want to encourage membership? Do we want to limit it? Do we want to have an open access where they can buy it at any time? Or do we just want to have, we're only going to sell 50, and if people want to buy them, we'll do 50 now and then we'll decide 50 later. So there's so many ways that we can shape this DAO going forward in the future.
Is there examples or examples that come to the forefront of what technology we'd use or candidates for creating those NFTs?
Yeah, one of the so you can mint NFTs on any kind of snake, any kind of blockchain you want. Ethereum is one chain, and you could put an NFT on there. Very expensive, like $200-300 bucks to mint an NFT there. But you could do the same thing on Avalanche, just a different chain, sort of a 7-Eleven, Walmart kind of chain for things. And we could mint our NFTs there. All that matters is whatever chain we mint them on, everyone who owns an NFT, a founder NFT, would have to verify their NFT using that chain software is all. So before people came to one of our DAO parties to say vote or to distribute funds, there'd be sort of an automated bouncer at the door going, hey, you want to come in? Where's your NFT? And you'd show them that, and then the bouncer would verify that NFT. He'd come back to Avalanche and say, oh, I see you. Here you are right here. You're welcome, Adam. You're all set. Now, you've used that NFT as sort of like a lanyard. It's like a pass. It's giving you access. That doesn't actually equate necessarily to how much you've actually put into the treasury. What you've really done is said, I'm a member of this DAO. And for me to join the DAO, my requirements were I had to put something in Ethereum. So I put 25 cents. I put 25 cents in Ethereum into the DAO. It cost me $1.78 in transaction fees. Don't ask me why, but that's what I did. And now I'm a member of the DAO. I have an NFT, but I really have like zero ownership in the DAO because I don't actually hold any tokens. After my transaction fees to join the DAO, I have zilch in there. So I can access things, but I can't actually do much inside the DAO. For example, Josh takes number 4, and we have 4,600 bucks possibly in this hypothetical future. As Josh has clearly said, this is just one possibility. That $4,600, we have decided a long time ago that elders are important. And so therefore, any kind of full moon gathering of any kind of funds or anything that we do, half of that potlatch goes to the founders' fire, the Sachem fire. That fire is now our budget, the budget of people that are just elders now. So now the elders have this separate budget that's even separate from the DAO. And we as elders get to decide, what do we do with that $2,300 that we made? What do we want to spend that on? We could want to spend that on recruitment. We could want to maybe buy an account on Moralis where we can like open up a way for people to join the DAO without having to use words like XDAI or without having to like go weird places. You could just, and we had this in January, you could just go to the website, click a few buttons and join. It was great. Very expensive though. It was costing us like $100 a month to keep doing that.
You said Moralis?
Yeah, Morales, just using that as an example, but like we could create some sort of third-party tool that creates this concierge service that just allows the founder to join the founders with super ease, all from a centralized browser window, that kind of thing. It could be that we decide to do that. It could be that the elders decide, you know what, we really, really believe in harmony right now. We'd like for our elders tokens to also go into this other plan and do it this way. So I want you to look at the founders tokens as this circular inner circle. It's the elders. There's three parts of this fire. The Iroquois Confederacy is a unanimous government. And I'm not saying we have to do it this way, but this is what I think we'll do. This is what I think we should do, I should say, is you have your elders. That's the founders. That's us. We came first. We built the fire. We built the tent for people to come here. If it wasn't for us, there'd be no tent. There'd be no fire. Second from that, you have a bicameral body of people. This is the Iroquois Confederacy, not DC. You had your younglings, and you had your more experienced, can't remember the word right now, but basically the people in the tribe that are older. They're more established. They know what they're doing. They're not ready for elders yet, but it's basically your Senate and your House. New ideas are brought up by the freshlings. They're sent over and debated with the Senate, with the other House. Unanimous government requires that both those groups agree with that plan. After that plan's agreed upon, it then comes to the elders, and the elders either veto it or they say yes. The elders themselves are not actually bringing up new ideas. They're just simply overseeing these ideas. Once we have this system in place, all of this would simply be happening automatically through this Gnosis chain, and the end result of that would come out in the actual currency, the tribal currency that we are using at the time. Could be Avalanche, could be Ethereum, it could be Potlatch. Potlatch could be a token that we as a DAO have created for ourselves and that we use to distribute and do things throughout the world. We could have our own liquidity pools. It could be its own pretty lucrative thing too, simply by starting a token and having it take off, having enough people adopt it. Anyone who's an initial founder in that token ends up usually doing pretty well from that. So I'm trying to be vague, but also give you examples of just how diverse this DAO could change and grow. All the different little pockets of interest that could form that don't require your 100% dedication. It's not like you have to go look at exactly what is Harmony or what is One or what are these people doing in this weird tent that's happening right now. It's more about saying, well, they fit in with the larger DAO, and this is just how we all converge and meet and discuss things like this. So hope that sheds some light.
Yeah, and let me add on top of that too that we've all used MetaMask, right? At this point, and MetaMask connects very well with Ethereum and with other EVM chains. So again, that's the Ethereum virtual machine. So other chains that plug into Ethereum. We would likely stick within that EVM kind of ecosystem there. And there are other places, like I mentioned Solana, for example, and I do a lot of stuff on Solana. It's a good fine chain all in of its own, but it would mean that other people would have to like create a new phantom wallet, figure out another system. I like Solana. I don't think we should do that because we've already started with MetaMask. MetaMask is very good, and we should stick to something that plugs in well with MetaMask. So, you know, James mentioned Harmony, he mentioned Avalanche. Those are two really good, really established kind of layer 2 systems underneath the Ethereum blockchain. Those would be very good examples of ones that are fast, efficient, well battle tested, you know, where there's a lot of, you know, easy ways to mint NFTs, a very good community of people there too. So we want to find easy access ways for our own community. But then also, if we're going to grow somewhere, we don't want to just be in this like little corner of, you know, the metaverse that doesn't really exist to anyone else and no one can get access to either. We'd want to find ways that we can plug in other aspects too. So that's my 2 cents. It's probably stick within that MetaMask Ethereum ecosystem, but specifically not Ethereum because it's freaking expensive. So, you know, if we had $1 million in our treasury, I would say something different probably, but we don't yet.
Hi, I have a question because I kind of got stuck. I got my, and I'm a little behind, and I haven't completely caught up to the XDAI part of the story. But I got stuck trying to get the Ethereum out and into the DAO, and then things changed. I'm missing a couple of things to really know if I'm going in the right direction. But it seemed like I had to make a Coinbase wallet in order to move my ETH into. Does that make any sense? That it asked me to make a
Yeah,
Coinbase wallet.
I would say proceed with caution. If you just sign up for Coinbase and then send money to the DAO, Coinbase isn't going to honor your Ethereum address. They're going to change it in a day, and so
Okay,
uh,
so
nothing's changed in how to join the DAO, but it is tricky, and
okay,
you have to
so I
sign up for MetaMask. You have to.
yep.
There's no other way to do it, and so it does start with Coinbase. After Coinbase, you're going to send money from Coinbase into MetaMask.
Okay.
So
So
don't
yeah.
write this down because I don't want anyone to expect that these are the full things. But we've got a couple of tutorials that we've written which show you this. But just to give you a real quick step-by-step guide, is you're going to begin in something like Coinbase. Doesn't matter, could be Coinbase. You're going to buy Ethereum. You're going to move that Ethereum into MetaMask, into your own digital wallet on MetaMask. Once it's in MetaMask, you are then going to give money from your MetaMask wallet to the DAO. This is the first time you've actually lost money. In other words, when you got your Ethereum on Coinbase and you moved it to MetaMask, your money's still there. You haven't lost any of that. You spent that though once you're in MetaMask and you decide to give some of that Ethereum to the DAO. Once you give money from MetaMask to the DAO knows exactly which MetaMask person decide to give money to the DAO, which now you have full credit because you alone control that MetaMask wallet, versus Coinbase, where they would actually be the owners of that DAO, not you. So you can't skip that step. After you've done that, I would say only after you've done that, Lisa, then is the time to start thinking about the concept of XDAI. And that's really more of like an advanced thing that's not even required for you to join the DAO right now. It's more about if you want to participate and look at our governance system that we've been playing with in the background, that's when you would want to go spend maybe like $5 on some XDAI. And you're just using that as sort of like voting tokens that you can play with on our government's website. But none of that is required to actually be a founder or to get into the DAO right now.
Okay. I think okay, so what I just want to like say I do have ETH in my MetaMask, and I got that after I got stuck the first time. I got that sorted out. And then when I tried to move the money from the MetaMask into the DAO asked me to open a Coinbase wallet. So I was sitting there thinking, I remembered there were some problems with that and people got into trouble. So I really wanted to ask the question. I'm glad I did, because I don't even think I really needed the Coinbase wallet because I already had my MetaMask with ETH in it, sitting beside the DAO, ready to deposit it. And maybe I misread things or didn't quite.
Yeah, I'll just be clear. I've never is it going to be okay for someone to take Coinbase and send money into the DAO wallet. What you're doing is you're giving ownership of Coinbase. You're telling Coinbase, hey Coinbase, I'm buying you a gift. You own membership in this DAO now.
Okay.
And it's only because of the way Coinbase does business. I think it's actually pretty fraudulent the way they do that. But hey, that's them and that's why they do it. That's why there's a big learning curve right now. The MetaMask is really, it's the only step. It's always been the only way to get to the DAO is going to have to be through MetaMask first. And at no point will the DAO ask you, hey, now that you're in MetaMask, I need you to go to Coinbase. Nothing in the DAO even needs to touch Coinbase. In fact, if anything, Coinbase is presenting more of a problem for us because some people aren't doing that middle step. They haven't lost that money yet, but it's giving us a lot of homework to do to make sure that those people don't lose what they gave.
Okay, I want to just clarify one more thing. I did join the DAO with my MetaMask. I just haven't put any ETH in yet. So, does that make sense? I just
No.
have to do that.
I don't think
No,
that that's
so
possible. You can't, I haven't put an ETH in yet, but I joined the
Oh,
DAO. That those two things are incongruent. The only way
sure.
okay.
that you could join the DAO is by sending an Ethereum from your MetaMask. If you do that, then right here, the screen that you see shared, you will see
Yeah.
that the last person that joined was, looks like 29 days ago. And that person's MetaMask is OX2781EC6C7812 blah 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 blah. And they sent 0.066 Ethereum. That's how we know. And this is permanently on the blockchain. What you're looking at right here on this screen is the blockchain, the Ethereum blockchain right now. You're actually seeing that blockchain. And this is how we know that you're safe. You yourself should be able to, if you get comfortable with this is part of the learning curve, by the way, Lisa, and everyone, this is
Yeah.
part of the learning curve, is that when you make that transaction, you'd be going, how do I know that I actually joined the DAO? Well, this would tell you. You'd be able to say, well, when did I send that money? I sent it 47 days ago. I wonder, well, let's see if I can find my address. And you'll find your address, hopefully. You'll say, oh, look, I'm OXDFA9F. And I know that because I went to MetaMask and I hit copy. I copied my address and I came back here and I did a search and it showed me what all happened connected to that. So you were looking at the ledger for the wallet for our DAO, and everyone that's actually joined the DAO is going to be one of these numbers on this list.
Awesome. Okay, thanks. That helps me understand where I am. Thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah,
On
and
that,
I hope I can just say that I know that there's questions about this, and I want you to know that I think that's part of what the DAO does is to help educate people about this. So if I'm sounding scolding at all, please don't hear that. I'm sorry. I just don't want anyone to accidentally send their money from Coinbase. It's just such a horrible thing to hear because it's just like, oh, it's just it's a bummer to watch that happen is all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I heard that. And so when I ended up with the Coinbase, I was like, I think I took the wrong route. I need to just sit here and wait until I understand it better. And I'm glad I did.
Is it possible to put a sign on the DAO website to say don't send from Coinbase? Just
So the thing is
like a
that
notice.
you don't actually send it, like the website doesn't actually have the interface to even
You
take your
can't.
money to send it to the DAO. We used to, but
Yeah.
that
Yeah, let me go
interface
back here.
to connect that costs us about $100 a month, sadly. It's actually a pretty good deal. It's because we're on the Ethereum blockchain and they are pre-buying proof of stake tokens to allow us to put transactions in, and it's $100. It's like a bulk kind of, you're paying for bulk transactions is what you're doing. We took that off because it was costing us $100 a month. We didn't know it was going to cost $100 a month, by the way. Once they announced the prices, that was when I was like, oh well, this is going to burn out our DAO if we kept this up. So
on that note, is it worthwhile to know by name all the people who sent to the founding wallet?
I think what's
Right
I
now,
think
it's
that's
important,
up
at
to them.
yeah, I think what's important is that we become the protectors of those wallet addresses. And eventually one day, when we get really savvy, we would be sending those wallet addresses a full moon NFT. And that full moon NFT, I'm just kind of making this up, but that full moon NFT would give you 30 days of access to the DAO backend, which doesn't exist right now, but it would give you 30 days access to the DAO backend and to governance, and that NFT would expire after 30 days. Why? Because it's automatically generating those NFTs based on who's given money to that wallet for that month. Next month, if you were to trade that wallet or something else, then that wallet would then have that NFT placed in there. So way off topic. I'm just trying to say that those wallets will eventually be how the DAO will communicate with you, which is why it's so crucial that you have that wallet, not Coinbase, no one else, that you personally have that wallet, because you will be able to open up that wallet one day and go, why do I have XDAI? Why do I have Potlatch? Why do I have Satium? You'll be getting tokens that are NFTs that are necessary for the DAO to prove you're one of us.
And there may be some silent members of the DAO, right, that don't necessarily come on video and say their name, but have very good ideas from a governance perspective. And, I think we're sort of entering an interesting phase in humanity with the way that things are operating. And there's probably going to be more people that are multifaceted, right? And they've got a persona online and a persona in person. And you can judge that as you want, right? But I would say to each their own as to how they want to divulge their identity or not. And if they don't, they don't. But if they're putting money into the DAO Treasury, then they're going to get access to, become a founder. I mean, we've got, 74 transactions here. So 74 different wallets. And actually, I went over to this one here. Someone gave Matic, right? So someone gave the wrong token. We've got one person who sent the wrong token in, and there goes $100. It wasn't the right token that came in there, and that's okay. But we've got 74 different wallets here. Do we know all 74 people? I don't know. I don't know all their names. I know some of them.
In fact,
but I'm okay with that.
I think it's 74 transactions, so it could be like 59
It's
wallets.
less than that.
Right?
Yeah,
It could
right.
be. That would only be, if one wallet gave like 3 times, which I've done that a few times, just testing it, setting it up and stuff like that. Another thing you can do, just so you know how this works, is Etherscan is just one. They're not in charge of blockchain, by the way. This website, this is just one of many websites. You could do this yourself. You could spider the blockchain and store information and sell it. But if you wanted to, you could log in and you could start to assign these wallet addresses nicknames. So if you knew that Josh was OX2781, you could just change that to Josh. Now, no matter where or what transactions you're looking at, if that wallet ever shows up again, it's going to show you that, oh, here's Josh again. So you'd be able to kind of track that too. And that's how the government would do it. That's how anyone that wants to track your identity across the platform is that they're going to be tracking your wallet. If at any point in time, if at any point in time that wallet address is somehow linked to your social media account or to your identity in any way, from that moment on, that wallet is now sort of exposed. When I say exposed, that doesn't necessarily mean that people can just steal your money because it's exposed. It just means that that money now has the assignable identity to it that someone else can now say, this is probably Jeff. I know that because Jeff went in here that says get a custom Facebook badge printed with your name on it right here for this many Ethereum. So as soon as he bought that, you pretty much know it's probably Jeff. So now you can track him. So that's what the government, the banks, that's what everyone else is doing. They're using these wallet addresses to track you. Bitcoin, all of these cryptocurrencies, they don't actually store your identity anywhere, nowhere in there. You're looking at a separate tertiary database that would be linked directly to these wallets and would be as good as gold in the sense of they would be able to know very accurately whether or not that transaction or that wallet came in. This kind of stuff, the DAO, I think, is the perfect avenue to help us educate ourselves and new people about how to maintain your anonymity. One of those things is I'd like to get a speaker to come talk to us sometime about Pirate Chain and explain exactly how Pirate Chain goes about protecting the identity of transactions. There's a lot to talk about. I'm not going to go into it now, but there's a couple of different techniques where you can sort of scramble these wallets and make it a little bit harder to figure out which wallets are buying what for how much and how long. That's becomes a completely different even aspect of cryptocurrency, something that, just as an example, that Josh may even say one day, hey, as money manager guys, I think right now is a really good time to invest in privacy tokens. Here's why, blah, 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 blah. I mean, that could happen too. There's so many different aspects to cryptocurrency. It's a huge, colossal field. I don't want anyone who's joining the DAO to expect themselves to know all of these things, to even be proficient in all of these things. I want people to find community where different people are tinkering with these things so we can learn from each other and expand our own understanding of how this stuff works.
Yeah, the reason I brought the topic up was because we have all those transactions in the wallet right now, from over the past couple months, before having the human infrastructure of like how do we do communication. And just wonder, there's probably going to be a number of people when this is more mature where we're not going to know who put it in, and they might not know where to check, or they might not be a part of the Discord. They might not be in the Sachem, group. So that's just what was on my mind in bringing it
Yeah.
up.
I think because, and especially because some people have given with Coinbase, just it's not the only reason, but this also adds to this. Um, there are going to be some anonymous, unclaimed uh, uh, ownership lanyards sort of out there that we're never going to be able to find a way to communicate with these people, because if we put an NFT in their wallet that says, "Hey fucker, where were you? You need to vote for the full moon," that could be Coinbase getting that. And then Coinbase, some guy named Reggie in Coinbase is like, "Oh look, I found something in a wallet." I mean, I doubt that'll happen because how big they are, but still, that kind of thing could happen. Now that dude has access, and he's now a member of the DAO. Um, that would be the only way that we could ever communicate with anyone actively is by sending something to that wallet, which is why we're saying how important it is that you have that MetaMask wallet. Even though we as a DAO are not actually sending things to you right now, we haven't done that yet. I mean, Josh and I have played around, we've sent a few things back and forth, but once that initiation starts, that would be very crucial. It would be the only way. We don't actually have a human database right now, Adam. I don't know if we even should have one. In other words, it could be that we might find that 3% of the DAO says, absolutely not, I'm not going to tell you who I'm not going to tell you that's my wallet. I don't want you to know that that's my wallet. And that would be their prerogative. That would be very healthy for them to say that too. So we will figure out a way to do this. It's not that that money's lost. It's that that money is just has this bureaucratic, it's sort of like a mechanic's lien on the title. It's sort of like the closest example I can give to it. And that's just a few of those small cases. If you have your keys to MetaMask, it's no problem at all. You'll be able to verify you have that, and all be good.
Yeah, and actually, James, at some point in the future, I could probably get one of the founders of Pirate Chain to come chat to us about it. I'm decently active in their communities, and I've spoken with him on a number of occasions. He knows who I am. I'm a decent holder myself. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to commit for him, but he's a very cool guy. Goes by the name of Lutz from Brooklyn. But he's also big on anonymity, right? So you'll never know his real name. But a real cool guy. And I think he does a good job of explaining like why privacy matters. And well, Pirate Chain is just one of a number of different places you can go. And he'll tell you that too, right? Like there's other spots that we could potentially use. It doesn't have to be Pirate Chain as well. But I think the more that we all get involved and we start to grow our treasury and see different things that we can do with this, it becomes more interesting to all of us. So yeah, we'll kind of see where it takes us.
Yeah, and I'd love to have him. I think it'd be a great offering for the Dojo with Radio too. It's just like a talk about that. It'd just be great. So yeah, if you ever want to set that up, let me know. It'd be great.
Yep.
Is there anything anyone can do who isn't a programmer or an expert in crypto to help at all at the moment, or is the kind of, do you need to be good at those things?
Well, I'd say that right now, I think the biggest pull on DAO resources would be helping people figure out how to join the DAO. Like that seems to be the big one up front. And so even becoming comfortable enough to where you could walk someone through how to get money into their MetaMask account, and then how to send that money to the DAO, and then how to verify that their money is in the DAO, that would pretty much make you an expert if you could do that. And it would help the new person that's coming along become more comfortable with that process. That's really the only thing that we really have right now that we are and can actively do. because we're so new in these steps, is those kinds of things. Just getting people comfortable with these ideas, getting them used to the terms and things like that. On the back end, as a programmer, there is so much potential to what this could be. One of many things, is there's a 3D game engine called Unity that's free, and that we could create a mobile app, and that mobile app would be programmed to tap into the blockchain, tap into the governance, and provide anyone that has this DAO app on their phone complete interaction, looking at the minutes from all the meetings we've had, chatting with people, looking at any upcoming gatherings, things like that. That to me would be a huge offering that we could do, but would require a substantial budget monthly just to maintain that. Like I said, the $100 for Morales is really what kind of killed how much progress we had. It was really slick because the DAO website itself, you just go there, you click a few buttons, you're joined, it confirms that everything was great. We could have taken that further. And if the DAO Treasury grows, I think that we will find, here's what I think will happen is that when we get initiated and we get ready for this, we as elders will decide, it's $100 a month. Why don't we commit to having a membership drive for a year, and let's just see how much we raise. And if we raise enough to cover that $100 a month, then that would be a successful membership drive, and then we could grow to the next step, which is this app or this governance or this whatever. As you become comfortable with this, if you like Gnosis Chain, the next thing that you would learn is really just going onto the Gnosis Chain website, looking at our DAO governance. There's a link on that DAO page that was just up. You click in there, you could just start looking around, looking at how the voting system works, start to read about what reputation is on there, how that pertains to their voting system, things like that. And kind of the third tier of this is just building community within the tribe, keeping people interested in what we're doing, and eliciting new members to join up. I think eventually people will start to notice, wait a minute, you guys have a DAO and you've got over $10,000 in there, and you that already is a pretty big fire where people are like, what the fuck's going on here? So I'm really happy with where we're going. We could be a lot further, but even what we have is huge. And if we just keep playing drums, keep enjoying our company around each other, that will steadily grow, and I think that'll be a huge success too. So
Yeah, and I'll say too that a big help would be the Discord, where I've got a lot of things kind of like hubbed in there. I can create some step-by-step like walkthrough type stuff. So even just like being a member of the Discord, you don't need to like go hang out there all day long, but like knowing where to go to be like, hey, if you follow this link, it'll take you into this place called like the Dojo or DAO. Cool. Now click on this link and it'll give you a step-by-step walkthrough of how to get your MetaMask set up. Like just knowing some of those logistics would be super helpful. I've got a few people that are sort of like managers, I guess you could say, of the Discord, which is, just an area where people can go kind of hang out and find information. So that would be like our tribal place where when you need to know how to do something, just like send them there and know where to go get information. I'll try and make that all very clear, but that would be a super big help. I think even if you don't know all the other stuff, like how to get people set up, and rather than having to recreate the wheel every time, like all of that stuff will be in the Discord, so they can just click a link and go here, and it's like, here's your tutorial, go. I think that makes things a lot more seamless and easy versus the daunting task of like, okay, how do I like screen share and walk you through this? It's like, just go click this link. Here's all the like how-to steps to how to do this kind of thing.
Can you post that link in the Telegram as well? Can I, let's say, because I use Telegram more.
Absolutely, yeah.
I
And
could-
let me do that right now. I'm a member of the Telegram stuff. I'm terrible. I should be in there more often. I'm sorry, guys.
don't apologize, because I have the same problem, Josh, but opposite.
I know.
getting into
Yeah.
Discord, and I'm sorry. I really am sorry about that. I find it very simple for me to use Telegram. I'm not suggesting we switch. I think Discord's the right call. I just want you to know that that's a handicap I have. Hopefully, if people want to learn to help us create a bridge between Discord and Telegram. Just kind of like help us spread information. Whenever topics or ideas or new proposals you're seeing, act as that bridge between the two things. That helps tremendously.
And do you guys want me to post this? I posted it in the Crypto Dojo, but I know there's a couple other Telegram channels. Do you guys mainly use the Dojo Kickback one?
I would say Crypto Dojo only because hopefully we'll bridge intertelegramally.
Yeah, right. For the
Right?
people that want to be in the crypto stuff, they'll go
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, because
Good.
people are just like, stop talking about things that make me uncomfortable. There's a lot of that, so it'd be better this way, I think.
Could you have a subcategory like the Dojo Gallery that we have in the Dojo Kickback, maybe, so that it's all contained within?
We've got basically we have a Crypto Dojo Telegram that's just like nothing but silence for weeks, and then a bunch of like insults about the latest token that's supposed to be blowing up, so yeah, we have that basically. All we need to do is just every now and then, whenever someone posts something to crypto, if you ever see anything posted to Crypto Dojo, it's a great opportunity for you to put a link to that inside the regular Dojo Telegram. I say regular because there's now 3 Telegram groups that are kind of quasi related, right? No, the 4. No, there's 5. There's 5.
There's the
now.
gallery. It's the gallery I'm thinking.
Gallery, Moonstay, Dojo Kickback, Dojo Earth, and Dojo Crypto Dojo. So I'd say to keep it clean, all of us just put it in the Crypto Dojo. And if anyone's looking for something to do, it's always a good idea to spam the other 4 groups with what we're doing in Crypto Dojo. You get points, you get elder points if you come back and people are like mad at you because you talked about crypto outside of the Crypto Dojo. It's your initiation.
See, I love this. All of this is why I'm like, go to the Discord. But I know it's different for everyone. So you guys focus on Telegram. I'll focus on the other stuff.
Yeah.
And then we'll be a great team together.
Yeah, well, don't make me take Discord out back, Josh, because I could tell you about all the different things in Discord that are very confusing too. But
I know.
Still,
I know.
point taken.
Yeah. Yes.
And I will gladly pick up your Slack on Telegram. Not that I would even call it Slack. If you could.
Oh,
do
I'm
the
not
same
active there at all.
Yeah,
I'm not active there at all.
I don't expect us all to just be constantly pouring calories out into this. Find your niche, do it well. We'll just slowly start to find where the gaps are, and people will just naturally pick up, I think, from there. Eventually, I think every full moon we should be having a powwow where we're presenting what the DAO can do, what others are doing. It's a sort of a potlatch exposure kind of a ceremony. I believe that would probably be tied to some sort of like a mailing list kind of a thing. Those mailing lists would take you right back to Discord. It's just a link that you would click on that would just take you there so you could see things like that. We'll start to build those communication streams, I think, more once we have a steady drum going all the time right now. I think that at a minimum, we should be doing these meetings every full moon. It doesn't have to be exactly on full moon, but just at some point in time, I think it's a good opportunity for us to meet and talk more about this stuff and, just push it along as slow or as fast as it needs to be.
Yep. And that's a point well taken on. We've each got different areas where we pay attention to.
Yeah.
And there's only so many hours for each of us to spend time on different things. So if you hate Discord and you don't want to be a part of it, like just join it, just so we've got like loose connections to everyone in different places. But then don't hang out there, right? Go spend your time where you enjoy it more and where you're going to be more effective. Because the last thing I want is James trying to spend more time in an area where he like is nails on a chalkboard. And it's like, I know how to get in touch with them so many other ways. So like, I don't necessarily need that. But I do mention it as different places where we can find and gather information. So on those email distributions or whatever, we could have a little sub area where we've got a couple of different places to connect as a tribe or find things, or, where the latest vote is, for example. Anyhow.
I concur. All right, guys, is that we done here?
What happened to the wizard, Josh?
Oh, Bakar, yeah,
Yes.
he survived. He survived the perilous journey.
I'm so pleased.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
for those of you guys that don't know what we're talking about, this is within DeFi Kingdoms. There was a quest that you could send your little heroes on, and it was called the Perilous Journey. And you could literally lose them. And some of these things, like I've got a couple that are worth, I don't know, $5,000-$6,000 just for like one little NFT, for example. And you send them off full knowing that like they could be burned and destroyed forever. So I could have just like pissed away $5,000 or something. A number of them died, a number of them survived. Bakar was one of the ones that lovingly you took care of for a while, and I appreciate that, and did survive. And there were some good benefits to surviving it as well. So
Con. Yeah, that's well, I'm glad Bakar made it. That's awesome. It's the first guy that knew the shape of the earth, by the way. Just wanted to point that out. So there you go.
Good synchronicity there.
Yeah, in fact, that DeFi Kingdom, that was the option 4 that Josh was talking about. So on that, I think that we should, I'm just going to throw this out. Please let me know what you guys think. I think we should allow Moon for voting. If you want to help, get as many people as you can to go into that Discord link and vote. Choose one of those options.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what we should do from there is, I think that we should unanimously ask for Josh to do what he's offering to do without a doubt, and that I do not want Josh to even be limited by what the actual votes are. I want Josh to look at what those votes are and then still use his own judgment because I know Josh puts a shitload more calories into this than I'm going to go there and vote. And that'll be 3 minutes that I've spent the last 3 months looking into DeFi Kingdoms and all these other things. Josh is waking up in the morning and he's hunting. He's actively on the battlefield every day. So that's personally what I would like to see. I want people to vote. I want them to give Josh their feedback, and I still want Josh to be the one that decides what we should be doing with that treasury money. I think we're losing money right now because we're not doing at least one of those things. That would be my comments. I would be putting that in the Discord. I would encourage all of you to vote in that Discord, but also spread that around and say, hey, if you're in the DAO, keep in mind there's a vote right now. So you may want to, throw your thoughts into that. It's a great opportunity for you to even start learning how to share the Discord with people. So.
Yeah, thank you.
So with that said, we're just starting a new moon, I think we're just starting a new moon. And I would say that we would close voting on this full moon, but I think we should give it longer. I think things just tend to take a little bit longer here. Josh, do you think that's a bad idea to wait? How long do you think we should get? Okay, the full moon is on the 16th of May. We could say that
if we give it a couple weeks, that would be perfectly fine.
Okay. Let's why don't we do that, guys? Let's try and have a closed vote by the full moon. Does that sound good? In fact, we'll have a tentative meeting on Tuesday, the 17th. How about that? Tuesday, 17th. Is that good for you, Josh? Can you do that?
I think that should be doable. Just opening up my calendar here, but Tuesday, the 17th. Yeah, that should be fine.
All right, great. Why don't we tentatively call for that, all voting to be closed on that by the 16th. We'll say the night before. We'll have this meeting, and Josh can formally accept this position and just let us know what's going on. and we can go from there and meet every month, and yeah, we'll start having our first report. It'll be kind of cool. We'll be able to, get a little report and see what happened, and Josh can tell us, well, Picard was slaughtered outside of an orc bar. It was a bowling alley, orc bowling alley. It was horrible. It's horrible, but he's being avenged by his son, Picard Jr. So we're thankful for that. Anyway.
Bakar is a mighty wizard now, so I don't know about that.
Okay, well, great, even better. Cool.
It's going to do some plundering.
All right, so unless Sauron has anything, I think we're good. Anyone have anything else before we close? All right, guys. Josh, thank you so much for this offer. Seriously, this is exactly what we need right now. I'm really thankful for that. So thank you, my friend. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no worries. A long time coming. I finally have some more calories myself to do it now that our baby's been born. We're a month into it and we're kind of finding our rhythm. So a month ago, if this was happening, I'd be like, I don't know how I'm going to do this right now, but yeah, we're good. We're smooth sailing from here. So
yeah, he mined a new Josh NFT. There's a new NFT that's been mined.
That's right. I minted another one.
That's awesome. All right. All right, guys, have a good one. Thank you for being here, and look forward to next time. Unmute if you want to say goodbye.
See you guys.
Goodbye.
Have a great
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Take care.